Hey, it's Alistair Felix. Earlier this year, I set a challenge for myself to do one long form video a month. At that time, it felt like such a huge challenge, like climbing a huge mountain or getting thrown into the final boss fight in a game. But now, a year later, I can't believe how much this journey has shaped me. If you're here, maybe you're thinking about starting YouTube next year. I get it. You've watched all the YouTube videos on how to start YouTube on YouTube, and you still don't feel like you're ready. I was right there with you watching those videos. It's honestly terrifying to put yourself out there, but if I can do it, you can do it too. Let me show you how YouTube has changed my life and how it can change yours too. When I first started, I was paralyzed by decisions. Honestly, it felt like I was looking for a reason to not start. I fell into this endless loop of watching YouTube tutorials on how to start, the best gear recommendations, the best of everything, the top 10 lists, you name it. And instead of helping, I just felt overwhelmed. The hardest hurdle was actually my first video. I thought I needed the perfect camera, the perfect mic, the perfect lighting, even the perfect time of day. The truth is, none of that mattered. My first videos that I shot were on my phone and I just used a basic mic. And those are still some of my favorite videos that I've made. The lesson I learned there was to start messy. Your first video won't be perfect, but it will be done. And done is always better than perfect. The more you create, the better you'll get. Even after a few videos, it wasn't smooth sailing. I thought creating videos would get easier, but some days were just really hard. There were moments that I was really angry at the computer. Transition didn't look right. It was a little blurry. I wasn't in focus. I didn't hit record when I thought I recorded. There's just so many things, but there's something very special in those moments because it really pushes you to learn. And those things don't happen when you're just thinking about starting. These things happen in the moment of doing it. Editing was also another beast in itself. I honestly did not like to hear the sound of my voice. I would beat myself up for not being able to film like the perfect take in one take. Over time, I learned to give myself some grace. You're not supposed to be perfect right away. YouTube has a way of teaching you that it's okay to be a beginner. And then the other thing is consistency. The goal of doing a video a month sounded easy, but it was quite challenging. It honestly was my fault. I love to procrastinate. The deadlines were stressful, but it kept me accountable. I learned to aim for progress and not perfection. If I could give myself one tip at the start, I would let each video be at 80% of what you want it to be. There's always another video to make. And after 80%, your perfectionist kicks in. And those are the moments where you feel like you just need to keep going, keep pushing through. I think one of the hardest parts is to know when to stop, when to start, when to stop. There's always another video to make. This challenge has forced me to experiment with different styles. I tried vlogs, talking heads, short film styles, and each one taught me something new. It was not just about creating, but learning. I needed to know the behind the scenes of how you would make a vlog or how you would make a specific style to make sure that it was right for me or it wasn't right for me. I think one of the hardest parts of starting YouTube is figuring out your niche. Everyone tells you to niche down. And I think when you're just starting out, it's more about exploring what excites you. I learned that it's okay to have many things that you're passionate about. We're all human after all, and we don't fit into one box. Your niche doesn't have to be a specific topic. It can be you. People are drawn to storytelling, and you know your life better than anyone else. So share your experiences, share your perspectives, and share what excites you. The right audience will connect with you, and not only just the topics you talk about. But this is why trying is so important. You have to figure out the why before doing your what. Like, why do you want to create? Why does a certain style format resonate with you? It's tempting to just follow what others are doing or buy what people say you need to buy. But until you understand your own intentions, it just doesn't feel right. The moment you figure out why you're doing something, the what, whether it's the style of content you want to make or the gear you want to buy, it'll suddenly click into place. So if you're starting out, don't worry about finding your perfect niche. Start with what you know and what excites you. And as you create, you'll find that your niche isn't a box you're forced into. It's a reflection of who you are and how you see the world. So here's where it gets a little tricky, the analytics. I won't lie, it's easy to get obsessed. This year I poured my heart in hours into some videos for it to not do well. And then some videos I rushed in creating and performed surprisingly well. It's a roller coaster. What I learned is that views, the likes, the comments aren't everything. Your success metrics should align with your goals. For me, this year was about experimentation and persistence, with figuring out my own style, what content I wanted to make, even finding my own voice. YouTube has taught me to ask deeper questions. Why am I doing this? What's my story? Once I focused on the why, everything else, the views, the likes, the comments, even the stress becomes secondary. One of the most amazing thing I didn't know that would happen was that filming so often made me see the world differently. I started noticing how lights hit objects, how everyday the mundane can be so inspiring, how just movement can tell a story. Even the smallest memory or moments can hold such powerful, extraordinary meaning. This is one of the biggest gifts YouTube has given me. Being present. When you're always looking for inspiration all around you, you just needed to slow down and pay attention. Life feels fuller, not because of the content you create, but because of the way you start seeing it. Looking back, I realized YouTube didn't just change how I create content. It basically changed how I live my life. It's taught me to appreciate progress, embrace perfection, and even trust my own voice. So what's next after this challenge? I'm going to keep creating. There were moments I feared that I would run out of ideas, but the more you create, the more you tap into this creative, endless space, and ideas just keep flowing. If you've been waiting for a sign to start YouTube, this is it. Hit record, start messy, experiment, and most importantly, keep going. To everyone who's watched, commented, and supported me on this journey, thank you. I'm so grateful for this journey and for all of you. Here's to another year of creating. I'll see you next year. Bye.